So today we're putting a 100 cell cat on the Fiesta ST. I went with the 100 cell cat and the catted version over a catless just because in the SCCA autocross class that I'm in, you actually have to run a cat. The minimum is 100 cell. So we have the least restrictive cat that we're allowed to have in that race series. That, and it's a daily driver, so I don't really want it to smell like gas or anything like that. And this one's still Michigan legal, so good to go. If you have a decent amount of tools, this is what you're going to need to do the job. Obviously, you can get it done with a couple other things. Most important thing, 7/8 socket wrench on a flexi drive. On the flexi. Also, these are the sockets you're going to use. You might have to use them on the 3/8 socket flexi drive, possibly. You need an 8, a 10, a 13, and a 15. And then I used a 15 impact for the exhaust bolts. I use this little impact gun for everything else, besides some of the stuff that I couldn't get it into. And then just a regular screwdriver, Phillips, 2 different flatheads depending on where it was. And then this is my favorite contraption so far. So this is a 1/4 drive flexi head with a 18-inch extension, a universal joint, and a 7mm. And I use that to get the hose clamp at the very bottom. All right, so I've already removed the back cowl and the headlights, relocated the hood prop rod into this little hole right here, set it up. I'm just working on getting the air intake tube completely pulled out, and then at that point, we should be on to getting the heat shield and everything like that. It's only taken me about, I'd say, 20 minutes to get this far. This part's been pretty easy so far. So Mishimoto actually has a video on this. I'll show a clip from it right now and put a link in the description. I'm just going to go over basically the stuff that's not so easy that they don't touch on, and give you little tips and tricks on how to get this cat in. And then at the end, I'll show you how the cat sounds and yeah, and let you know what I think about it, anything that I don't like about it. This one on the back of the intake right here, this intake tube, is really hard to get to. I guess you could use a really short stubby to get to it, but what I did was basically I put a universal extension. It's a 7mm, and it's on a 1/4 inch with a super long extension. I think this is about 18 inches, and then I just go in right here, just and it's easy. On this heat shield, this one bolt is kind of hidden on the bottom here, right down below here. So wait, hold on. I don't know if you can see that perfectly, but I had to put like a little extension on there to actually get it to line up, and this is an 8mm. The two on the top were also 8s. Pretty easy to get to with a little flex head 3/8. Removing this heat shield was the most difficult task so far. Basically, I had to loosen up this line right here, move the bolt on this water line right here. Major pain to get the heat shield off. Heat shield's been the hardest part so far. Now we're at the point where we're gonna get this guy off. So we're gonna take this heat shield off as well. Yeah, we're getting real close. Next is the primary oxygen sensor, or secondary oxygen sensor. The rear oxygen sensor on this guy is super easy to do if you have an oxygen sensor 7/8 socket and a wrench on it. You can do it right from the top. It seems like it'd be a lot harder to do it from underneath, from my opinion. On the driver's side of the downpipe heat shield, there's 2 bolts on the edge there. So let me just refocus here. So there's 2 bolts on the edge of the driver's side heat shield. I'm using a little clicky 10mm to get it, and it's working great. All right, so now that I've got it out, you can really see the difference. To get this out, this is kind of a bear. You pull it out from the back where it actually attaches to the exhaust though, and you just kind of twist it to get it out. It seems like it's impossible, but I swear if you turn it the right way, it will come out. There's no easy way to do it. Basically, the gasket on this is a little bit shot. So I'm gonna go ahead and go get a new gasket, as well as get a new 3-inch. All right, so comparing the two downpipes, you can definitely see that there's gonna be some weight savings from the other one, as well as a much better flex joint than the stock one. Look at this thing, it's kind of interesting. Versus that, much better. As for the actual media itself, let's see if we can get a view here. So looking inside the housing there, you can see that super fine media inside there versus this one, which obviously is much more free flowing. So the new downpipe has a thicker flange where it mates with the turbocharger. So you're gonna wanna loosen up those bolts a little bit more than you needed to basically just get it off. So that's what I'm doing right now. And of course it doesn't go that far. There you go. Really interested to see what this thing sounds like with just the downpipe. I don't actually have the exhaust bolted up yet. Let's hear how it sounds. I had to jack up the actual exhaust pipe to get everything to line up because I had everything out. And once I jacked it up, I was able to get both the bolts in, and it worked great. All right, so I must say that putting everything back on is so much quicker than taking everything apart. Got everything besides the actual hood cowl and wiper blades and stuff put on. I got the bare minimum put on basically to start it up and hear what it sounds like. Still need to put the headlights back in and stuff. But you're going to hear it with me, so all right.